Already facing the challenge to withdraw loud fog, Cascade Arsenal, and one shot. It's fog, we can't really see anything, but then there's Cascade Arsenal, which means that we won't actually be able to bring a thumper, so instead we're just gonna bring a bunch of C4s, which works out perfectly fine. But instead from that, there's one shot, which it is Cascade Arsenal after all, and one shot does work quite well with Cascade Arsenal, mainly because, well, we've got weapons that are really good with one shot, since, quite notably, it's a sniper, it's a shotgun, and it's a pistol that does a lot of damage, which are all relatively ideal traits. Now, we're gonna try not to get shot from essentially every angle possible, which seems like a vaguely important thing to do. That's not a god, so I shouldn't really be concerned about it. But as the explosions go, we're just gonna go through here, and we're just gonna hopefully not have anything really bad happen before we go over here, place the demolition charge over here, and then we'll just vaguely prepare to place the C4 inside, and then afterwards assassinate it over there, which seems a bit like a given, but we're just gonna go over here. We're gonna place the C4 right over here. We're gonna back off for a bit, make sure we're clear, detonate it, then afterwards grab a bag of cash, and then just start moving, which really only works if we don't miss horrendously, but nonetheless, it works out just fine. So we're gonna grab the bag of cash, and then, well, whilst the cage is being assembled, we're just gonna run through here. Hopefully not meet anyone, which the shadows aren't really promising, but that's a lot more units than I was expecting. So maybe we'll just back off for a bit as we meet the Aegis unit, and, well, a lot of very angry... Maybe this was a bad idea. I mean, they're about to blow up that wall over there, which... We're alive. It's always a nice quality to be alive, since that's always the ideal trait to have right now, but we're gonna heal up, since that's vaguely important. And then we're just gonna grab these bags of cash and then just start moving them forward, which is also vaguely important for what we're trying to do relatively soon. So we're just gonna start moving them, and it's gonna go relatively efficiently, which is kind of the hope for literally everything here, but we're just gonna continue doing it. We're gonna bring this over here, then we're just gonna leave it over here, and it's gonna go just fine, which I'm quite happy with. So we're gonna go back in through here, and then there's gonna be a few more bags to move, and by a few more, what I really mean is 3 more, which isn't exactly a few more, but more so half. Not exactly great, but I suppose that once again we can still work with it, which... I mean, sure. So we'll grab this bag of cash, then we're just gonna start running. And then hopefully it doesn't stop with the units too soon, or more accurately, the units don't stop showing up too soon, since right now is basically the best time to start moving, which is conveniently the time where we've got a bunch of bags over there, which we haven't really got anything to do with, but it's fine, we can just grab them and it's gonna go just fine, which... Maybe it's not really gonna go that fine, but we've been able to bring everything here, which I guess we're supposed to be content with, but we're gonna bring the other bag and then we're just gonna start rushing it, even though the units are still showing up. And by rushing it, what I really mean is just whenever we've got some momentary solace, which may or may not happen. And I suppose with these violent units, we could always do something like that before trying to swap out so that we can determine when we would want to. Hi there. Nice to meet you. I guess one other nice thing about one shot is that knifing also applies to it, which... That's a lot of very violent units. No, we're not doing this, alright? Just no. We're gonna heal up now, since it's relatively close to the whole not being alive anymore thing, which... all in all, it's not a really good trait, and I suppose with the CHA, wallbanging's not really a bad tactic, and I'm quite happy with it. Those are CBRCs, and I don't really want CBRCs over... Let's back off for now. Mainly because the CBRCs are doing a bit more wallbanging than they are, well, ideally supposed to do, which isn't really all that much, but we're gonna grab this bag over here. Then we're just gonna start moving, which seems like a relatively sound plan, so that's exactly what we're gonna do before going through here, And since there's vaguely nothing over here, we're gonna go in through here, and then down through here, which seems vaguely obvious, but right now we're gonna go back over here, and then maybe, just maybe, the last bar's gonna be moved, and it's gonna go just fine, which so far it is. And we're doing quite well on medkits so far, which is always a nice thing. So essentially right now, hopefully, Sparrow shows up relatively soon, and hopefully, we don't waste these medkits to an egregious extent. I mean, we've got 4 in between all of us, so hopefully, we won't lose 1 medkit every minute for which Sparrow takes to show up. Hi there, all of you. That's a lot of units ready. I'll take that ammunition, thank you very much, and I'll miss that horrendously, which is already kind of a precursor to the whole egregious medkit use thing, but nonetheless, I suppose we could work with it. Hi there. You know what? We can always just try wall banging. It seems like a decently sound plan, provided we actually know where the unit is actually at. Let's not get flashbang then, shall we? Not exactly an ideal situation right now to be in, but we can make do with it. We can mark, we can try our best, and we can try and make sure that the units don't actually start overwhelming us, which would, to put it quite simply, be vaguely, well, not a good thing. And by vaguely not a good thing, I just mean vaguely a really, really bad thing, which kind of means the same thing, but nonetheless, I suppose we could work with it. And I'm just gonna back off now, since this seems like a vaguely comfortable spot for me to be in terms of the whole trying to not get... So presumably I landed 1 shot on it, which I find quite hilarious. And I mean, the shotgun does evidently enough damage to do whatever that was, which I'm perfectly content with. Except for the CBRCs that are showing up, which I am most definitely not content with, but I suppose it will make do as we sit over here and maybe try and get a good view. But right now, Sparrow is getting vaguely close to actually breaking through the ceiling here, so we've got around 2 more medkits to spread out if we're going with the 4 medkits every 4 minutes plan, which isn't really what we're trying to do here, and it's more so just theoretical and more so a worst case scenario, but so maybe we'll be doing that actually, because of whatever that was. Not great, but we'll try and make do with what we've got, and then we'll try and, well, stay alive, which all seems like a given, but let's just try and keep it that way then, shall we? And then afterwards, well, maybe we'll get a medkit, maybe we won't waste it, and maybe it will go quite well, since so far, it's gone from doing quite well on the plan to doing terribly, and, well, being on a borderline of misappropriating all of the medkits that we have between the 2 of us, which is not really an ideal trait to have, but nonetheless, right now would seem like a good time to start moving up, and then afterwards trying to not take that much damage to CBRC showing up, which, if you keep missing all of your point-blank shots that can clearly wallbang as seen by that, I will be perfectly content with. I mean, that was fairly absurd. There were at least 3 shots that really should have hit, but nonetheless, they didn't, and well, I'm grateful for that, since we've still got 1 medkit left, which is always nice for staying alive. Generally a good thing. And so far we're getting shoot units, which might not be great, but then again, we've got a sniper, which can pierce it. And then we've got a shotgun, which is quite simple, really. Alright, maybe it's not that great, but a shotgun has got a lot of pellets, which is pretty good at just going through the shield to some big extent, which is always nice. But I guess we've used up all of our medkits now, and then if we're gonna start moving, hopefully it's not gonna bite us horrendously, but so far there seemingly aren't. So we've still got an officer there, but we're just gonna ignore the fact that that's there, and that's the daily channel in just under 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Cheers everyone, have a great time!